'Twas a horse thief, Andrew Barton, that was hunted like a dog by the troopers of the upper muddy side. He had searched in every gully, they had looked in every log, but never sight a track of him they spied. So the priest at Kylie's crossing had a knocking very late, and a whisper, Father Riley, come across. So his reverends in pyjamas trotted softly to the gate, and admitted any Reagan and a horse. Now he's listening, Father Riley, to the words I gotta say. Put his clothes upon my death, I am tonight. With the troopers hard behind me, I've been hiding all the day in the guys, keeping close and out of sight. But they're watching all the rangers till this not a bird could fly, and I'm fairly worn to pieces with the stripe. So I'm taking no more trouble, but I'm going home to die. 'Tis the only way I see to save my life. Yes, I'm making hunter mothers and I'll die Tuesday next, and be buried on the Thursday end of course. I'm prepared to meet my penance, but with one thing I am perplexed, and his father is his Jew overhauls. He was never but not paid for, and there's not a man can swear to his owner or his breeder, but I know that his sire was pedantic from the old contender man, and his dam was close related to the road. And there's nothing in the district that can raise him for a step. He could canter while they're going at the top. He's a king of all the lepers that was ever seen to lamp. A 5-foot fence, it clears and a harp. So I'll leave him with your father till the dead shall rise again. 'Tis your servant knows a good un out of course. You can say he got by moonlight out of Teddy Murphy's flame. If you ever ask the breeder of the horse. But it's getting on to daylight, and it's time to say goodbye. But the stars above the east are growing pale, and I'm making home to mother, and it's hard for me to die, but it's hard to still keep on out of jail. You can ride the old horse over to my grave across the dip, where the wattle bloom is waving overhead. Should you jump the fence is easy, you must never raise a whip, or you'll rush 'em. Now goodbye, and he fled. So they buried him to rice in the graveyard at the back of Guy's Hill. He were 25 mourners who had 25 fights, to the very boldest fighters' hearts they'll fill. Here were 50 horses racing from the graveyard to the pub, and the riders flogged each other all the while, and the lashings of the liquor and the lovins of the grub. Up around they went to rest and rub a smile. Then the races came to Kylie's with the steeplechase and all, but the folk were mostly Irish round about. And it takes an Irish rider to be fearless of a foe. They were training morning in and morning out. They never started training till the sun was on the coast, but a superstitious story kept them back, that the ghost of Andy Raken on a slashing chestnut horse had been training by the starlight on the track. And they read the nominations for the races with surprise and amusement at the father's little joke. But a novice had been entered for the steeplechasing prize, and they found it was Father Riley's moke. He was neat enough to gallop, he was strong enough to stay, but his owner's views of training were immense. For the Reverend Father Riley used to ride him every day, and he never saw a hurdle, not a fence. And the priest would join the laughter, oh said he, I put him in, for there's 25 sovereigns to be won. And the poor would find it useful if the chestnut chanced to win, and he'll maybe win when all is said and done. He had called them for a bada, which is French for clericals, and his colours were a vivid shade of green. All the Dirleys and O'Donnells were on Father Riley's horse, for the Orangemen were back in Mandarin. The spoken the dog poisoner, aged man and very wise, who was camping in the race course with his swag, and who ventured the opinion, to the township's great surprise, that the race would go to Father Riley's neck. You can talk about your riders and the horse has not been schooled, and the fancies is terrific and the rest. When a field is fairly going, then you'll see you've all been fooled, and the chestnut horse will battle with the best. But the sun has got condition that they think the race is sure, and the chestnut horse will fall beneath their weight. But the hopes of all the helpless and the prayers of all the poor will be running by his side to keep him straight. And it's what they need is schooling or of working on the track, when the saints are there to guide him round the course. I've prayed him over every fence, I prayed him out and back, and I'll bet my cash on Father Riley's hall. But the steeple was a caution, they went tearing round and round, and the fences rang and rattled where they struck. There was some that cleared the water, there was more fell in and drowned. Some blamed the man and others blamed the luck. But the webs were flying freely when the field came into view, for the finish down the long stretch of course. And in front of all the flyers, jumping like a kangaroo, came the rank outside of Father Riley's horse. Oh, the shouting and the cheering as he rattled past the post, for he left the others standing in the straight. And the rider, well, they reckoned it was Andy Regan's ghost, and he beat him how a ghost could draw the weight. But he weighed 9 stone 7, then he laughed and disappeared like a banshee, which is Spanish for an elf. And old Hogan Martin sagely, if it wasn't for the beard, they'd be thinking it was Andy Regan's self. And the bird of Kylie's crossing drank the health of Christmas tide, of the chestnut and his rider dressed in green. There was never such a rider, not since Andy Regan died, and he wondered who on earth he could have been. They settled it among them, for the story got about amongst the bushmen and the people on the coast, that the devil had been ordered to let Andy Regan out for the steeplechase on Father Riley's horse.